Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, shalom.
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm out of practice, gone for 1 week, and I forgot to watch the countdown timer. I'm so glad that we can be together this Shabbat with friends who are in the virtual space as well as those of us who are together in the room. It is such a pleasure to welcome Shabbat, to welcome each of you with words of Hinei Matov. These opening melodies can be found on the screens in front of you, as well as in the prayer book that could be found on or under your seats if you are so inclined. Hinei Matov, page 10 in your prayer book, or up on the screens before you. On a cold night such as this, it is nice to have the extra light, the extra warmth that not only this sacred community brings, but also our candles. And it is a pleasure to invite Lynn forward on behalf of her and Ron, our Shabbat greeting crew, to kindle the lights of Shabbat. We're on page 2 in your prayer book, or again, those words can be found up on the screen.
give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'shanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu b'hadler shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav,
Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. And we continue singing our way into Shabbat, words of Or Zarua from Psalm 97. Again, those words can be found on page 14 in your prayer book or on the screen before you as we welcome Shabbat together. I'm afraid I couldn't get all of the words of Lecha Dodi up onto the slides just yet. You're going to have to grab the prayer books for this one. We are on pages 20 and 21 as we welcome Shabbat into our midst, into our hearts. We take a deep breath after what has been a long week. After long weeks, we prepare for the joy of celebration, not only of a wonderful upcoming bar mitzvah, but just the sense of peace that Shabbat brings us as we welcome Shabbat on pages 20 and 21 with words of Lecha Dodi.
Yeah.
invite you to rise as is comfortable. We invite you to take this opportunity to turn to those beside you to wish them a Shabbat Shalom. When you are ready, we would invite you to find your seats. There'll be lots of opportunity to continue these conversations over a nosh, over an oneg. But it is so wonderful to have a group with us in the room as well as those who are with us online. We welcome each of you as we turn in our prayer books now. We turn to page 24. As we continue our words of greeting, page 24, words of Shalom Alechem, as we continue to breathe in Shabbat. On the bottom of page 27, would you join me in the English? Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence.
ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שבט קודשו בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירה מלאה ואמרו Amen.
On page 28, we rise as you are able in body and spirit as we continue with words of the Baruch Hu, calling us to this space, calling us to prayer. On the top of page 31, we might join together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. And on the bottom of page 33, wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. As we turn to page 34 and 35 in our prayer books, it is an honor to invite Owen Haps forward to lead us in preparation for leading the entirety of the service tomorrow. We invite him to lead us in a few prayers this evening, beginning, you're going to need this, beginning with words of Shema Yisrael, pages 34 and 35.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
You are welcome to be seated. Let's give our friends at home a slightly better view. There we are. They're all yours.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך B'techa Uv'lechtecha B'derech Uv'robecha Uv'kumecha V'zartam le'od Al yadecha V'chayu l'totafot Bein beinecha Uchtatam Al mezuzot beitecha U'visharecha Leman tizkeru V'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'chizitem kedoshim V'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're welcome to be seated. Don't worry, he's not going to be seated for terribly long. We'll get him back up here in a few moments' time. Before then, though, we invite you to turn to page 40 in your prayer book, as with words of Mi Chamocha, we offer thanks this day and each day to our God who led us out of the land of Egypt to the promise that we now have the potential to bring into this world. We are on page 40. It's hard to believe. Some 435 days have passed since October 7th, 2023. And from that Simchat Torah until now, we add to this section of our service our prayers for those still held hostage in Gaza and those whose lives have been upended by war. We pray that these words transcend the 6,000 miles of difference. We pray that God can be found in their lives. We ask for a sense of shelter, of peace and protection, and for an end to this trying ordeal. Words of Hashkivenu taken from page 42 in your prayer book with the English words that you can find on the screen before you. In place of a piece of poetry as part of our service, I want to share but one quick story among many from my recent travels to Israel. It was a momentous time to be there, with the fall of the Syrian regime, with Netanyahu's criminal trial beginning, and with, just 2 days after we visited Kibbutz Kfar Aza around Gaza, the demolition of those buildings that were already partially destroyed, set to begin, such that rebuilding could happen. But while we were there, we also heard the story of a kibbutz located about a few miles to the north, where on October 7th, 2023, terrorists tried to break into the kibbutz. Unlike in Kfar Aza, at Kibbutz Gavim, they weren't as successful. And it was a volunteer security force that managed to hold them off at the gates. And when looking at the gates of Kibbutz Gavim, you might notice that there's a pattern in the way a bullet hole went through the metal. For indeed, an Israeli artist has turned that pattern into one of the hostage tags that many Israelis, and indeed many Americans, wear. For as that bullet split the metal, it split it into 6 almost equal shards. It feels as if hope can't be found in Israel and in so many places right now. And when you look at the big picture, it can be really hard to see. But little bits around the edges find just enough to keep going. I look forward to sharing more stories like this after the service if you are in the mood. But we turn now back in our prayer books to the safety, the security, the strength that Shabbat provides us. As on page 44, we anchor ourselves to that very Jewish tradition. We anchor ourselves to Shabbat with words of Vishamru. Before you know it, those little hopes grow into bigger hopes, and then they are here to celebrate a bar mitzvah. Owen, can I borrow you again? As we turn to page 46 in our prayer book, we again get a little preview of coming attractions for tomorrow as we join in the prayers of our tradition. I'll get that out of your way, sorry. We are on page 46 with the start of the Amidah. I would invite you to rise as you are able as we join together in prayer.
Adonai sefatai tiftach uviyadi tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezras Avraham. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Umarid HaGashem, Mechalkel Hayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabbi, Somech Nofli Verovei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umachayim Emunato, Lishenei Hava, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umidon Melach, Melech Meniv, Umachayim, Umatzmiya Yeshua, Bene'eman atah lehayot hakol, Baruch atah
Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yehallelu chasera. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Thank you.
Thank you. We continue now, with the words through page 60 that can be found in our prayer books, or with the words that can only come from each of our own hearts. When we have finished this moment of silent prayer, I invite you to be seated. With that sense of great peace in our hearts, we turn our thoughts to those in need of healing, those in need of healing of mind, of body, of spirit. And as we turn to page 253 in our prayer book, page 253, we bring to our hearts, to our mind, to our hands, those who are ill. And if you are comfortable sharing the names of those of whom you are thinking, we invite you to do so at this time.
Melissa Lubinsky and Glenn Rogers.
People of Israel, Gaza, Ukraine, and Lebanon.
Taryn Breckenridge.
Stephanie Fitting.
Zabina Hala. Elike Ajavan.
Andy Jeffrey.
Rena Eisenstein and Herb Eisenstein.
Eugene Mahovsky, Francis Williams, John Paul Mahovsky.
Natalie Trachtenberg.
Stephanie Corona.
Toby Mills.
Rebecca Russell.
Asha Feigeman.
Suzanne Friedman, Keith Siegel, Sigurd Chen, Idan Alexander, and Omer Dutra, the Americans held hostage. All the other Israelis and others held hostage by the terrorist group Hamas and its aiders and abettors.
David Greenwald, Jeremy Shapiro.
Jerry Jacobson.
We hold them in our hearts, we hold them in our prayers, we hold them in the actions of our hands as we partner to bring healing into their midst. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. Blessed are you, God, who brings a measure of comfort to those we have named and those whom we hold. Page 253. Famous Israeli author David Grossman penned the song Shirat HaSticker, sung by the Israeli group Hadag Nahash in the early 2000s. Shirat means song, and HaSticker, in case you didn't figure it out, means sticker, or perhaps bumper sticker. To a catchy melody, the artists recite juxtaposing slogans from the bumper stickers found throughout Israel. An entire generation demands peace. Let the IDF prevail. Religious versus secular, left versus right, Israeli versus Arab, hawk versus dove, it is all there, played out in about 4 minutes. Let's take a listen to just that first minute. And it moves pretty quickly, so I would encourage you to read quickly. Let's see if we can make this happen simultaneously for those online and in the room.
עושה שלום, תנו לצהל לנצח, עם חזק עושה שלום, תנו לצהל לכסח, אין שלום עם ערבים, אל תיתנו להם רובים, קרבי זה הכי, הכי, גיוס לכולם, תור לכולם, שום ייאוש בעולם, יש הזה כאן, אנחנו נאומן, no fear, משיח בעיר, אין ערבים, אין פיגועים, בקץ מסכן יהודים, העם עם הגולן, העם עם הטרנספר, חבר אתה חסר, הקדוש ברוך הוא, אנחנו בוחרים בך, בחירה ישירה זה רע, הקדוש ברוך הוא, אנחנו קנאים לך, ימותו הקנאים, כמה רוע, אפשר לבלוע, אבא תרחם, קוראים לי נחמן ואני וגם גאים, כמה רוע, אפשר לבלוע, אבא תרחם, ברוך השם, אני נושם ולחם.
The tensions apparent in this song haven't subsided since it was written in 2004. They've only amplified. And so have the stickers. Stickers now cover every surface in Israel. Fountains in Dizengoff Square. There we are. Light poles at Har Herzl, the military cemetery. Benches at Shabbat Omer Medical Center and Rehabilitation Center. The bomb shelter at the Nova Music Festival site, and absolutely everywhere in between. These stickers, though, don't display pithy political slogans, but another truism about Israeli society. So many people have died in such a short period of time that the families are desperate to differentiate, to remember those who have fallen in more personal ways than a quick burial might permit. Thousands of stickers, tens of thousands of stickers, hundreds of thousands on every bus stop and signpost are there to tell the stories of those who have died. They have some of their favorite sayings. Sameach musmach, be happy and joyful. Let's go back one. And hakol beseder v'yeh tov. It's all good and it will be all right. They have biblical verses and Jewish texts. In a place where there are no people or men, strive to be one. And unit logos and prayers that the dead who have died have not done so in vain, and that the hostages can be brought home now. These stickers, everywhere you turn, are a constant reminder that Israel's longest war has left devastation in its wake. Devastation for the families that have lost sons and daughters, and for children who will grow up without a parent. Devastation on an economy at war, whose workforce continues to be called into Gaza and Lebanon and now Syria for reserve service after reserve service after reserve service to the breaking point. A reserve colonel who addressed our group pointed out that despite a remarkable minimization of collateral damage, that's innocent lives lost, compared to other instances of urban warfare, Israel is never going to be able to satisfactorily explain the devastation that exists today in Gaza, that's going to be visible to foreign journalists after the war. It's overwhelming, and I'm far from the only one in this room or in Israel that just wants it all to stop. Rallies continue in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and in municipalities around the country calling for the government to negotiate a deal for the release of the hostages. Yet it continues to appear that political calculations preclude long-term strategies and an end to this war. It's saddening and maddening. and in the heights of, or more accurately, the depths of our emotions, it's all too easy to misplace the blame. For too many in America, this takes the form of blaming all Jews for the actions of the Israeli government. Others seek to vilify only Zionists, those of us who have the audacity to believe that the Jewish community has a right to equal representation and national representation. And a terrible new trend appears to be blaming soldiers of the Israeli Defense Forces for the errors and frustrations felt with the political echelon. I don't mean to imply that mistakes haven't been made. War is awful. But this week, I had the opportunity to meet a number of those soldiers with an organization, Friends of the IDF, collecting resources in America for soldier support in Israel, gyms and synagogues, on base and comprehensive PTSD treatments and recharge centers and college scholarships and so much more. Friends of the IDF is doing the important apolitical work, and I was honored to learn and experience and say thank you to those who are serving. We met lone soldiers who moved from abroad, from France and from Belarus and from Argentina and from America, who moved there to defend the state of Israel after October 7th, in much the same way folks joined our armed forces after September 11th. We met reserve soldiers who gave up studies and careers and families to stop the ongoing acts of terror from Lebanon and Iran and Yemen and Gaza. We met Israelis from all walks of life serving their nation and saw with our own eyes what would happen if those soldiers weren't there. They, the soldiers, are not to be blamed or threatened with international arrest, but to be lauded and applauded with full voice, or at least whatever voice we have left after screaming about the cold miscalculations of the government. And if you disagree with me about Israeli politics, great. It means you have even more voice to say thank you to those soldiers. Disagreements about how to achieve the brightest future aren't really new in Israeli history, nor were they in 2004 when David Grossman wrote Shirat HaSticker. It's amazing how many of those bumper stickers are as relevant today as they were then. That song has faded perhaps to the oldies station. The arguments, the disagreements are as fresh as when it was written. Those disagreements persist, and stickers are even more pervasive in the form of bumper stickers, of course, but now even more so in the actions of bereaved families to ensure that their child's memory is sticky. Israel continues to mourn the losses of October 7th, 2023, and the ongoing war that followed and is following. And these stickers honoring Israel's children allow their memory to continue and to live on in the collective consciousness everywhere you turn. Israel remembers. It pushes through the devastation of the current war, and it is engaged in a fierce ideological battle for its future. We don't know what that future holds, but with gratitude for the commitment of the soldiers of the IDF, we at least know there will be a future. May the disagreements 20 years from now not feel as existential as the disagreements did 20 years ago and as they feel this day. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be in accordance with God's will. Following our service tonight, I'm happy to share more details and stories about the incredible and challenging and meaningful and uplifting things that I saw and heard on this trip. If you are so inclined, I would invite you to grab a nosh and to come right back into this space. If you're not, I won't be offended. Enjoy that nosh and conversation out in the foyer where we normally gather. That's okay too. But I'm happy to share some pictures and some stories so that you can experience part of what I was able to experience and I appreciated the opportunity to get to go. We invite you to turn back in your prayer books at this time. As we turn to page 282, there finding words of Aleinu L'Shabeach on the bottom of that page, the bottom of page 282. When you have found your page, if it is comfortable for you to do so, I'd invite you to rise at this time.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula liyotzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei arasot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום
You are welcome to be seated as we turn to page 294 in our prayer books, bringing to mind those whom we have lost, beginning with Michael Cates, whom we laid to rest in recent days. This Shabbat, we also mark the yahrzeit, the commemoration of the passing of Pearl Alt and Jeanette Beckerman, Bernard Berger, Raymond Berkowitz, Jeffrey Burnson, Louis Cantor, Ben Chizek, Mary Lou Delancey, Lena Eisenberg, Philip Feldman, Eugene Francolini, Sarah First, Esther Geller, Minnie Gibbons, George Gorin, Morris Graff, Esther Greenstein, Isidore Jacobowitz, Margaret Kidder, Edith Lacey, Bertha Lebow, Laszlo Lowy, Esther Bella Meislish, Teresa Morgan, Barbara Bobby Myers, Isaac Rappaport, Sarah A. Rosenberg, Isidore Rotman, Leonard Sadkin, Trudy Savransky, Elsie Schneier, Arthur Simon, Phyllis Stein, Phyllis Ann Taxon, Herbert S. Wolf, Harry Zakowitz, and Lillian Ruth Zangwill. If there are others whom you are remembering this Shabbat, or if I have inadvertently mispronounced the name of a loved one, I would invite you to share their name at this time.
Kathleen Mahovsky,
Joe Rosenbaum, Barbara Rosenbaum.
Yehei zichronam livracha. May the memory of all of our loved ones be an eternal blessing. On page 294, I would invite you to rise in sympathy and solidarity, in support with those who mourn, as together we affirm the words, Yit Gadol v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Hirutei V'Yamlich Malchutei B'Chaye Chon V'Yomei Chon U'Chaye D'Chol Beit Yisrael Ba'Gala V'Zman Kariv V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Almaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitramam V'Yitnaseh v'it hadar, v'it aleh, v'it halal, shemed kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom mimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May God, who makes peace in the highest of heavens, make peace for us and for all who mourn. And together we say, Amen. Amen. You are welcome to be seated. A tremendous thank you to everyone who has joined us in person and in virtual community. I'm afraid the nosh is only available for those who are here with us physically, and we invite you immediately following our service to grab a nosh, to grab a beverage out in the foyer. And again, if you want to hear some more of the stories of my trip, grab that nosh and make your way back in here carefully. We'll make our way through some of those stories with nosh in hand. Congratulations preemptively to Owen Haps and to your family as you celebrate your bar mitzvah, a tremendous celebration tomorrow morning following our Torah study, which begins at 9 o'clock in the community room and in Zoom. Thank you to our service leaders. Thank you, Jim, for joining us this evening. Words of our closing song are those final words from Mourner's Kaddish, asking for a sense of peace in this world. Oseh shalom bimromav, the final words on page 294. We would invite you to rise as is comfortable for you as we join in a version of our Shabbat Evening Kiddush, recognizing the sweetness and sanctity of Shabbat. Join us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. L'chaim. A beautiful new challah cover I picked up while I was in Israel and trying to throw around as many shekels as I could reveals this beautiful, if small, challah. I invite you to take a pinch when our service is over. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, say shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Be the one who makes peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. Be the one who makes peace, bring peace down. יעשה שלום. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace